Take a breath with me for a second and consider something strange. Before you close your eyes tonight, a small death will visit you. Not the final one, just the rehearsal. The ancients knew this. They would lie down as if entering the underworld, not in fear, but in reflection. Because every day that ends is a life that will never return. The sun falls like a curtain. The hours withdraw their witness, and you are left alone with the echo of who you were. What did you build today? What did you damage? Where did you act from courage? And what made you shrink? This is not self-condemnation. It is self-consecration. Welcome back, my fellow strangers, to another episode of Traversing the Strange World. And I am your host, Isaiah Danbury. And welcome back to another installment of Monday Mornings with Peace. Today I would like to talk to you about something that ancient Stoics and modern-day Stoics meditate on a regular basis. It's the fact that you're going to die one day. Memento Mori. Remember that you will die. Not to become anxious about it, but to become clear. Because when you remember that your life is finite, you stop pretending you have endless time to become who you say you want to become. Most of us live as if the important things can wait. We'll reconcile later. We'll start the project later. We'll say I love you later. We'll get disciplined later. We'll become courageous later. But death has a way of burning off illusion. So here's the practice. Picture yourself at the end of your life. You're old. You've lived for many years, and you're looking back. Who is that man? Is he bitter, or is he grateful? Is he full of unfinished business, or quiet resolve? Is he someone who reacted to life, or someone who shaped it? Don't picture the money. Don't picture the accolades. Picture the character. What kind of presence did he carry? Calm, strong, gentle, honest, disciplined, courageous. Now here's the part that we often feel tempted to skip. Reverse engineer him. If that's who you want to be at the end, what must you practice today? Because character is not built in the final hour. It's built on ordinary Mondays. It's built in small choices and quiet decisions when no one is watching. The Stoics didn't meditate on death to become afraid. They did it to prioritize. When you remember you're temporary, petty arguments shrink. The ego shrinks. Excuses also shrink. What expands? Maybe integrity. Perhaps your presence. Possibly urgency toward what matters. Death clarifies. It asks you, if this was the last year of your life, would you keep living like this? If the answer is no, you don't need a new life. You need a new direction. This week I'd like you to meditate on death for the purpose of how do you want to direct and aim your future. What type of man do you want to be on the day you die? And how would you like to die? Kicking and screaming? Unprepared? Still uninitiated? Having lived a life of quiet desperation? What type of man do you want to be on the day you die? Just sit a few minutes And imagine the man at the end. Ask him, what do you wish you would start over now? Then listen. And when Monday turns into Tuesday and Tuesday into Wednesday, act like your time matters, because it does. We are strangers in a strange land, but the promised land isn't endless time. The promised land is a life well lived. And that life is built today. And that day happens to be Monday. Every Monday is an opportunity to start a new life. I think there's wisdom in treating every day like it's both the beginning and the end of a new life. And I know that fellow strangers of all ages listen to this show. And this meditation is for everybody of all ages. It's never too late to start again. It's never too late to take charge of your life. So tonight when you lie down and you end your day, I want you to picture this future version of yourself on the day of your death. What type of man was he? When I meditate, the man that I picture, that I hope to become and to be working on in this very moment, is this kind of Renaissance man. Strong in body, not for vanity, but because he respected the vessel that he was given. Strong in mind, because he never stopped learning. He was curious, grounded, and disciplined. A man who didn't shrink with age, but deepened, and most importantly, contributed something. Maybe not something to the whole world, or that the whole world saw or heard, but something real. Maybe it'll be the show, maybe it'll be conversations, just with random people, like I love to have. I want for him to build bridges between people who don't understand each other. A steady voice in a noisy time. I don't want him to look back and see hesitation everywhere, or comfort chosen over courage, or potential buried under fear. I want him to look back at me and give a small affirming nod. Because that younger man, he brought it all home. He took the collection of his life experiences and he aimed it at something. There's a line by the band Tool from their song Ride In 2 that I think fits perfectly with this message today. Repugnant is the creature who would squander the ability to lift his eyes to heaven, conscious of his fleeting time here. My fellow strangers, for all we know, we only have one life. Let's make it the life that we want it to be, not potential smothered, not living a life of quiet desperation. The human is a tumbleweed of experiences, rolling and bouncing through life. Maybe one day we shatter and break, and that's the end of it. Maybe we roll on into the by and by. At the very least, this conscious experience we find ourselves engulfed in, it's unique, it's special, but it's limited. And sometimes I think it might be a type of test. Let us not fail that test. Let's live full lives that we can look back and give a small affirming nod to. Let's bring it on home. From point A to point B, let's fill our lives with what we want it to be full of, to its full capacity. Let's be present in our own lives. And as part of this meditation, at night when you go to lie down, you can do this mentally or write it on a piece of paper. Write your own eulogy or your own obituary as an aim, an active orientation. Because a eulogy is one of the rare moments in life where the truth tends to break through performance. At the end of a life, nobody talks about inboxes cleared or arguments won online, or how busy someone was. They talk about presence. They talk about character. And how one was in relation to others. So as part of this meditation, write that down. Not only as an aim, but as an honest conversation with yourself. This ideal self, is it a reflection of my life right now, and my actions, and the mark that I'm leaving with others? All right, my fellow strangers, that's my closing thoughts on that. Thank you, everybody, for continually coming around to Monday Mornings with Peace. And I hope these have been helpful to you. And I hope to see you next week. While you're around, don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, let's keep traversing this strange world. Let's always be introspective, always be inquisitive. Let's be present in our own lives, and let's remember to be neighborly to folks, because we were just kind of thrown into this life thing. So at the end of the day, we're all just strangers in a strange land. Until next time, peace.